Hello everybody, and welcome to Haiku Talk. I'm your host, Ben Ga, your friendly neighborhood haiku poet. And today we're going to be taking a look at a nice, suspenseful piece from Ron Moss from the latest issue of Blithe Spirit. It's a good piece. So, you know what time it is. Time to sit back, grab yourself a tasty beverage, and let's haiku. Welcome back, everybody. It's good to be with you again. And tonight we have a suspenseful piece from Ron Moss, one of our great poets, and comes from us from the latest issue of Blithe Spirit, as I said at the top. And the poem goes like this. A change in the silence. Ravens take flight. A change in the silence. Ravens take flight. Really nice. Really nice. And as we are in the middle of October here, and the temperatures are cold, and we're edging towards Halloween, this was just one that just struck me as being cool and spooky and nice and dark for the season. And this poem structurally follows fragment in the phrase, but it puts the phrase up front, the phrase being a change in the silence, the fragment being ravens take flight. And the poem uses the three S's of simple, succinct, and suggestive language very well to build its case of point. And that is to build to a moment of suspense. Also, you'll notice that the poem has a nice structure where it starts smaller and gets larger as it goes down. Again, kind of a build to the suspense. And then let's take a look at this poem line by line to figure out how it works and how it builds to something and where it leaves us as the reader at the end of the moment. So that first line, simple two words, a change. A change. What's nice about that is that it puts you right into the moment, right into something where you know that something has happened or something is happening. A change. So it's very dramatic right from the start. Sometimes we've seen poems that kind of put you in a nice setting, drop you into a setting, drop you into a mood, drop you into some sort of place where you can kind of get your bearings. This one, first line, right off the bat, a change. So you know something's happening. Very cool. And that's it. And it's two words. And I love two single lines or single word and two word lines. We can get away with them all day long in haiku and senryu, and beautifully executed here for line one. Line two, in the silence, ... In the silence, ... So again, we know there's a change, but a change in what? A change in the silence. That's nice. That's suspenseful already. So we're dropped into a moment. We know that the change is happening. Now we found out what the change has happened in what setting. And all we know is that it was silent, and now there's a change in that silence. And with the ... dots at the end, that forces you to pause and linger on line two, and in a sense then linger on the phrase that's just been presented to you. 2, 3, ... A change in the silence. Very cool. Very, very cool. And what's even more about this is that I love the ambiguity of this. My first thought when I read through this is that a change in the silence means there must be a noise. Something has to have, it's no longer silent. But then the more I thought about it, that doesn't necessarily have to be true. Because it's not it's a change in the silence. So the silence itself has changed. Wow, what does that mean? So like it is quiet. It's still quiet, although something has changed so that the quiet that you're sitting in, that's surrounding you, is now somehow different. That's kind of cool. That's really cool and very suspenseful. And then we get to the awesome line 3. Ravens take flight. Ravens take flight. Wow, what a line, right? You build up tension by telling us there's a change. A change in what? A change in the silence. And the change in the silence is palpable enough that ravens take flight. Wow. So, I mean, I don't know about you, but my imagination's like on overdrive here of, again, it's October. The seasons have changed here. It's cold outside. It gets dark earlier. We're thinking about ghouls and goblins and spooks and specters. And we've got ravens in this poem. Holy cow, that's awesome. Now, I mean, those birds have so much. I mean, they suggest so much just by having raven in a poem because of all of the folklore and mysticism and mythology surrounding ravens, much less a very famous Edgar Allan Poe poem. It just speaks and screams to this time of year. And they take flight. So this change in the silence is palpable enough that ravens take flight. And so that leaves you at the end of that poem still in this moment going, what the heck has happened? What's going on? Now, I don't know about you, but for me, I want to get the heck out of there. Wherever I am standing in this instance where this has occurred, I want to leave because I'm freaked out. I'm scared. I'm going to follow those ravens. And that's the cool thing about this simple, succinct, and suggestive language. The poem never tells us what the change is. The poem doesn't say that the ravens are taking flight because of the change in the silence, or are they part of the change in the silence? Are they going towards whatever this is? Are they going away for whatever this is? And the choice of bird as raven is an amazing choice as a poet. Because this is we don't know what exactly happened to Ron that caused him to write this poem. This could be exactly what happened in the real world. And if that's the case, fantastic. But I want to use this as a case in point that sometimes when you experience something in real life and you're writing it down, trying to make the haiku of the moment that you experienced, it might not have been ravens that took flight. It might not even have been birds that took flight. But it might be something that as you're drafting and as you're writing and as you're trying to find the real expression of the moment, the real way to release tension or build towards something in the poem, that you might, in the revision process, decide to use ravens rather than whatever it was that took flight because it adds an edge to the moment. It adds another layer of suggestiveness by pulling in, having all the weight that hangs around what a raven is and what a raven does and what a raven might be doing in a specific moment in time. And so it's a good choice as a poet to put that word in there. And another thing about this, the way that it's constructed, as I said, it starts short and gets longer and longer and longer. And really, after that last line, you're dropped as the reader. You've built, the moment has happened, but because we don't know what happened, we're left at the end of the poem to determine what happened. Do we want to figure it out in our heads? Do we build that scene in our head to figure out what changed the silence? Or do we get the heck out of there? Do you just book it? As I used to say as a kid, book it, let's get out of here. I don't know. What do you think? I'd be interested to see where this story took you. For me, again, because the seasonality and the use of ravens, it's building towards a really spooky scene. But I could equally see this as being a very calm scene. I could equally see this as being something that, you could go in 100 different directions, all completely valid based on the way that the poem is structured. And, it's just a winner of a piece. And really, really, really like it. So yeah, if you feel compelled, drop a line or two in the comments to see where were you dropped? What changed the silence for you? Was it a noise? Was it an explosion? Was it a gunshot? Was it the lights in the sky, a UFO or something that dropped down that changed the way the silence felt, that changed the way the atmosphere felt around you? Was it something else? Did you see a zombie? Did you see what happened? What's your story that you came out of this? Because it's just a real fun moment to kind of recycle and revisit in the brain this time of year especially. And that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining us. Hope you have a tasty beverage by your side that you're enjoying like I am here. And please like and subscribe and ring the bell and all the things for YouTube's to help out the channel. And thank you for tuning in. Hope everything's well in your world. Till next time.